This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Help is on the way. That's the message from the federal government. Ottawa says the military is being sent to help out a northern Manitoba First Nation dealing with the aftermath of a days-long power outage. CBC's Ian Fraze has been following the situation in Pimicikamak Cree Nation and joins me now. Ian.
Yeah, Brittany, Pimicikamak started pleading for this help for the military to be deployed 9 days ago, and now it's happening. The federal government says a specialized team from the Canadian Armed Forces will be deployed. Chief David Monias is thrilled. He says 10 to 15 military personnel are expected to arrive this weekend. They'll be assessing the damage to Pimicikamak's water and sewer infrastructure and advise on what to do next.
The experts in engineering with the water plants and the sewer plants. We're trying to come up with a solution on how to make them functional and to ensure that they're not breaking down for the next few months while we work on a permanent solution.
All right, Ian, so we know the hydro outage caused pipes to freeze and burst, and it's estimated hundreds of homes have been damaged. Will the military be helping with those repairs?
Well, no, Brittany. The military will be focusing on this vital community infrastructure that we mentioned, the sewer and the water, while damage to homes will be handled by local and visiting tradespeople. There's at least 15 of those people doing that work right now, and 30 more are on their way. It's estimated that assessing and fixing all these homes will take weeks, maybe months. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Ian Fraze. A former friend of a disgraced Winnipeg police constable says he had a reputation for being the drug hookup. She says Elston Bostock's drug dealing was an open secret. It comes as new details surrounding Bostock and his criminal behavior are released in court. The CBC's Bryce Hoy has more.
He would always be the guy at the parties with the fun stuff.
That's how one disgraced former police officer was known to this woman.
At the parties, the drugs were just always brought and given out.
She says former Constable Elston Bostock had the reputation among her friends as the drug hookup, and the drugs were free-flowing.
The drugs that he would offer at the parties, it would be a white powder that he had in his pocket, and he would go around and lick his finger and stick it in his pocket, and then just fairy dust all of us and pop his finger in our mouths.
She spoke anonymously over fears of backlash. She says she partied with Bostock in Manitoba's Interlake in the late 2010s. This week, he pleaded guilty to trafficking cocaine, MDMA, and other drugs over the last decade. The former Winnipeg police veteran supplied drugs to friends and police officers. Prosecutors say it wasn't so much about making money, but for social gain.
Knowing he was dealing and handing out drugs from his pocket, it just felt like, hey, so how far could he go in terms of illegal activities while being a police officer?
Last fall, Bostock pleaded guilty to a number of crimes, such as leaking police information and conspiring with officers to get friends out of tickets. Details came out earlier this week in court showing that Bostock supplied drugs, sometimes while on duty, sometimes out of his police cruiser, and sometimes to fellow officers. He also admitted in court documents that he once had a cocaine dealer meet him here, outside this police detachment on Grant Avenue.
We have police public messaging that's very stern and strict and echoes a lot of what we saw in the war on drugs. And now, with this respect, we have a police officer who effectively facilitated a drug transaction right outside a police station. Tandeep Sidhu researches policing. He says it's clear several officers knew what Bostock was up to for years and did nothing. He says that this case highlights systemic issues with police oversight. It speaks to a broader police subculture where it's the premise of we will quote unquote protect our own.
Bostock's former friend says she's too fearful to speak with police about him.
There's just too much protection, I think, among police officers, it being an old boys club and everything.
3 other officers face criminal charges in connection with the investigation into Bostock. Now, Winnipeg police say they're still looking into other officers, and Bostock is due back in court next week for a sentencing hearing. Bryce Hoy, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A public inquiry examining cost overruns on construction of the Winnipeg Police Services headquarters is looking at higher than expected costs. The province has approved an additional $300,000 on top of the original $2 million budget for the inquiry. The extra funding is needed to cover legal fees and expert testimony. The project ran $79 million over budget by its completion in 2016 and was mired in controversy. The inquiry is set to start next month. It sparked outrage and reignited safety concerns within some communities. Now police say the man responsible for a string of hate-related graffiti incidents has been charged. It comes after a synagogue, mosque, and a school were defaced with swastikas. CBC's Josh Crabb reports.
Last Friday, the Sherry Zedek Synagogue was tagged with swastikas and the word hate. 1 week later, Winnipeg police announced an arrest and charges against the accused.
It wasn't just property that was damaged. A message of hate was sent to a faith community, to families, and to an entire city.
Kelvin High School and the Abu Bakr El Sadiq Community Center and Mosque were defaced with swastikas too. Inspector Jennifer McKinnon says other locations were also hit.
These locations included residences, vehicles, a structure within Monson Park.
34-year-old Oliver Aderhoff has been charged with 14 mischief to property offenses. The arrest brings a degree of relief, according to Gustavo Zentner at the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs.
When there is hate towards any faith-based organization, any minority group, it's really an attack on all of us. In this case, it was a clear anti-Semitic attack against the Jewish community, against a place of worship.
The director of the mosque tells CBC he's grateful an arrest was made. Adnan Siddiqui says it provides some sense of justice.
The Manitoba Prosecution Service has been seeing an increase in hate crime cases. It has a team made up of 10 to 12 lawyers who work on them. While he can't comment on this latest case specifically, one of those Crown attorneys, Ami Kotler, says there's a reason why the public may not see the word hate crime when charges are laid.
They are dealt with at the sentencing stage because the criminal code makes it an aggravating factor at sentence where an offense is motivated by bias or prejudice or hatred against the victim.
In this latest case, police say they're still consulting with the Crown and the investigation is ongoing. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba's top doctor says this year's flu season is putting a strain on hospitals. 85 people have been admitted to the ICU amid a surge in cases. The province's chief public health officer says numbers have more than doubled from last year. 82 deaths have been linked to the flu here so far, and they say it's too soon to say if it's peaked.
You've probably heard that we may not have a great or match of the vaccine, but again, it's difficult to know this early on. And despite that, it still is going to provide the best protection that we have.
Dr. Brent Rusin says this virus is worse than last year's. He says even if we've peaked, transmission will continue and a second wave usually follows suit. Between icy roads and slippery intersections, driving in the winter isn't always easy in Manitoba, but it becomes even more challenging when you can't tell which lane you're driving on. Many say they've had trouble seeing lines that help guide drivers through traffic. The Safe Roads Committee is suggesting a different type of paint be tested here. They say thermostatic reflective paint is designed for harsh conditions, freeze-thaw, and heavy snowplowing.
The product has embedded in it layers of reflective beads. So as the product wears down, it regenerates and provides an ongoing supply, if you will, of reflective beads that allow the motorist, especially in nighttime driving, to see exactly where the lanes are.
He says proper line marking is part of the city and province's safety infrastructure, and it's being ignored. Time now to bring in Riley Lachuk. And Riley, I feel like Manitoba really should be ground zero for anything that needs to be tested in the winters.
Yeah, especially on a day like today, Brittany, where, we had a bit of sunshine here in the Red River Valley, but as expected, we've started to see a weak area of low pressure across the province as we get into the evening hours here. and combine that with a bit of wind. So there has been some reduced visibility in parts of western Manitoba throughout the day today, and I do expect that to continue to push eastward as we get into the evening tonight. So you can see a lot of that snow has been impacting parts of the Yellowhead west of Minnedosa and into the Interlake as expected throughout the day today. So into the Red River Valley tonight, this is more like flurries. Most of the snow stays north into the Interlake through the overnight hours. Overnight temperature around -11 in Winnipeg, maybe a few stray flurries first thing in the morning. Otherwise, we're looking at a mainly cloudy start to the day. Northwest winds 30 gusting to 50. So any snow that does fall will likely be blowing around as we get through the day tomorrow. And our temperature, Brittany, really doesn't go anywhere tomorrow. We're looking at a mostly cloudy day, maybe a bit more precipitation coming our way Sunday. I'll have details on that in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Fear and unease as unrest grows in Iran. Manitobans with ties to the country worry. We speak with them next. As unrest grows in Iran, the country's supreme leader has accused demonstrators of protesting to please Donald Trump. In a televised speech, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei also told the U.S. president to focus on his own country. Iran has cut off access to the internet amid growing protests across the country over soaring inflation that began late last month. Leadership there has warned protesters they will face the death penalty. That internet blackout means many here in Winnipeg with ties to Iran are left scrambling, trying to stay in touch with their loved ones. CBC's Matt Humphrey spoke to people here worried about their families. And a warning, this story contains graphic video and details.
This is another person that was shot in the head.
For the past 24 hours, this is the only way Shervin Sharidian has been able to communicate with friends and family in Iran.
They're crying that he just finished.
And this was sent to you by people in Iran?
Yes. This is a real footage.
Despite Iran's massive internet blackout, the Winnipeg business owner has been finding roundabout ways to get messages from loved ones. Mass anti-government protests are rocking many of Iran's major cities. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, says they will not be tolerated. The human rights activists' news agency says dozens have been killed in the violence. Sharidian thinks soon Khamenei will turn the internet back on and broadcast footage of protesters being killed.
This is a scare tactic that they do all the time to scare people to not go on the streets. But people of Iran are brave. Now it's not like 10 years ago.
Iranian exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi called for the mass protests. Demonstrations have included chants in support of him, something that would have brought a death sentence in the past.
They are calling for Pahlavi is coming back to Iran.
Pahlavi's father, the Shah of Iran, fled the country just before the 1979 Islamic Revolution and died in exile. Sharidian, a member of Iranian monarchists Manitoba, says Pahlavi is the person who can bring secular democracy to the country.
He's saying I'm the leader of the transitioning in Iran. But in the aftermath, if people of Iran, they go on the voting for him to become a king or become a president, he is out there.
Majid Kermani left Iran in 2004, partly because he wanted to spare his infant son from compulsory military service. Last night, he lost all contact with his 6 siblings back home.
I feel nervous. I feel that there must be something that the government is hiding.
Kermani is not an activist and fears for his family's safety, but he has a message for them.
Don't lose the hope and stay in the streets. That seems to be the only option that we have.
He says this is a moment in history. Matt Humphrey, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It was a move to not only clean up parts of the city and increase safety, but to help house those who've been calling the streets home. It's been roughly 2 months since the city implemented rules around homeless encampments and where they're allowed. And so far, it says progress is being made. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
Billy J walks through Mostyn Place Park. Up until December, there was a homeless encampment in the park beside his apartment.
They stole 2 bikes from me. One guy tried to set the outside of my apartment on fire, okay? They were broken into the cars. The garbage bins over there were just destroyed.
The encampment is in one of 12 sites the city has remediated since November, when new rules about the camps came into force. Encampments can't be within 50 meters of schools, daycares, playgrounds, and skating rinks. The one at Mostyn Park was across the street from a daycare at the corner of Balmoral Street and Granite Way.
It was overrun. The people were screaming at all hours of the night. The drugs were unbelievable, the needles. You know, that's what it was like. It's like being under siege.
The city has previously said it offers everyone in an encampment either shelter or housing options when a camp is dismantled. At Mostyn Park, all the people living there were set up with some sort of housing. The city is eyeing more action at other sites.
We have a number, quite a large number of sites that we're working on presently, just monitoring and working with the outreach team to make contact and hopefully find housing for people at those sites. So.
Jay says he wants to see what happens this summer before deciding if the new rules work.
There's certainly a sense of relief and, you know, basically good riddance. But in my opinion, Why did they wait till December? It's cold. Nobody's going to be here anyway.
The city says it doesn't have a count of people who have been relocated, but a provincial spokesperson says 156 people have been housed through the encampment to housing stream of its Your Way Home strategy as of the end of 2025. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, Riley back in now. And Riley, if people enjoy a good amusement park ride, maybe they'll like our weather, because we have been on this weather roller coaster. See what I did there?
Yes.
There we go.
And it's continuing.
This roller coaster is going to be continuing for the next few days.
Yeah, at least, even into the next week, Brittany, we're looking at this up and down cycle of freeze-thaw happening here in Manitoba, and we'll throw in some precipitation for good measure every few days into that. So let's start with the snow that's falling tonight across Manitoba. Here's a look at the futurecast as we get through the evening hours. So the snow does push off fairly quickly into Ontario, so this is a quick-moving clipper once again that's pushing across the province. And I'm not expecting any more than really a dusting of snow for most of us across Manitoba, but parts of the Interlake into eastern Manitoba, this is where we could maybe pick up 2 to 4 centimeters of snow as we get through the night tonight. Again, it's a quick mover. By the time we're into the morning hours on Saturday, back into a mainly cloudy sky. Out of some of this cloud cover, maybe a couple of odd snowflakes first thing in the morning, particularly into northwestern Ontario. But back onto the western side of the province, high pressure will clear us out, so we're back into a sunny sky first thing. I don't think that does a great job of clearing us out in the Red River Valley or in the Interlake, for example. I think we are hanging on to a lot of this cloud cover as we head through the day tomorrow. Not to say that it maybe won't be a fully cloudy day. There might be some holes in that cloud cover, but clouds will feature as we get through the weekend for sure through much of the south. Into northern Manitoba, another weak disturbance pushes across again. This is another quick dusting of 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. But it's what's happening in the south on Sunday that I am keeping a close eye on, and that's this weak disturbance that will push across the province through the early part of Sunday into western parts of the province and into the Red River Valley through the afternoon. Pretty active upper level wind. A little bit of lift in there, plus some warmer air as a trough nudges its way, or a ridge in the jet stream nudges its way eastward. With some warmer air could bring us the ingredients for some freezing rain as we get into the morning hours on Sunday. Even some rain back into western parts of the province as we get through the morning hours here. So this is Sunday at noon. This particular forecast model is indicating that we could be into some precipitation here in the Red River Valley as well. I think this model is overdoing it a little bit, but it's just going to tell you that there's the ingredients there for some precipitation and potentially some hazardous driving conditions as we get through the day on Sunday. Fairly good chance of some of that developing with the ingredients we have in the upper atmosphere. And then into Monday, we're back into a mainly cloudy sky, and then maybe we're looking at a little bit more precipitation in the long range. So what we're looking at in terms of freezing rain, the greatest likelihood of that through the Interlake as we head into Sunday. Areas along the international border could potentially see some of that as well. Combine that with a bit of wind, and we are looking at a bit of a breezy weekend ahead with winds gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour. Quick look at your forecast as we head through the afternoon. Brittany, tomorrow looking at temperatures around -10 in the Red River Valley and colder back to the west.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, we have much more straight ahead. Stay with us. Minnesota is opening its own probe into Wednesday's shooting in Minneapolis. A 37-year-old driver died after she was shot by an immigration enforcement officer. State officials there insist they have the authority to prosecute the case. But federal officials have said the state has no jurisdiction in the investigation. Also today, video was released from the camera carried by an ICE agent at the scene of the shooting. And a warning, viewers may find it disturbing.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Previous video showed an agent circling the vehicle with a camera. This new video appears to be from that device. When the vehicle moves into drive, the camera angle jolts upward, but it gives no definitive view on whether any contact was made. Meantime, Minneapolis local officials and protesters denounced again the shooting that killed the 37-year-old mom and U.S. citizen, and the response in Washington to it. With that story, the CBC's Katie Nicholson.
This here is the spot where Renee Nicole Good was killed on Wednesday. The 37-year-old mother remembered today with a moment of silence here in Minnesota. The Governor Tim Walz actually declared today one of unity for the state. He's urging people to stop and reflect about what is good in this nation and to reach out and help one another, help a neighbor. All of this sort of an effort to try and tamp down the tensions that have been running sky high in the state since this incident occurred on Wednesday. There have been respectful but very loud protests here every night. I spoke to two people who were protesting today outside the Whipple building about their concerns, particularly because there is a potential here that the National Guard may be deployed.
Anytime you introduce a militarized force, it ups the tension. And I don't think what we need right now is more people in tactical gear with weapons.
Now, of course, one of the reasons there are so many tensions here in the city is because of how the investigation into what happened is unfolding. Initially, it was supposed to be sort of a joint investigation between the state and the federal authorities. State authorities have said yesterday that they're pushed out of the investigation process. Today, community leaders pushed again for being allowed to have state investigators also examine the incident and what happened.
Is it deeply concerning that this administration from the very get-go is drawing the conclusion that they may ultimately come to? Of course it is. And if you got nothing to hide from, then don't hide from it. Include local experts in the process. We got nothing to hide from here. All we want in Minneapolis is justice and the truth.
The next 24 to 48 hours could be crucial as to which way this goes. So much of what the protesters are asking for is for ICE to sort of wind down its presence here. But so far, the Trump administration, the response has been to actually bring in 100 more agents over the next little while, and that is not going over well here. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Minneapolis.
Mark Carney is preparing for trade talks next week in China. It's all aimed at opening new markets in the wake of the global U.S. tariff offensive. But the talks could present Carney with a dilemma of balancing interests within Canada. The CBC's Kate McKenna has that story.
Okay, Deputy Mayor.
Ahead of the Prime Minister's trip to China, Ontario's Premier has a message for Mark Carney. Don't cut tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles.
We can't back down. Simple as that. They want to come and open a big manufacturing facility and employ uniform employees. Well, let's talk. But don't be shipping cars in, not manufactured by Ontarians.
Carney's 4-day visit next week will be the first for a Canadian Prime Minister since Justin Trudeau's in 2017, and trade will be a hot topic. In 2024, Canada imposed a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs.
We're listening to automakers, we're listening to workers.
Matching a move by Joe Biden intended to protect domestic automakers. Soon after, China countered with tariffs on Canadian canola, seafood, and pork.
As of today, we're effectively shut out of the Chinese market, and that's the result of two sets of tariffs that have been imposed on Canadian canola and canola products.
Canola is a major crop in the prairies, and producers have been calling for a solution.
It poses a very real challenge for the industry.
Of Carney's upcoming visit, Saskatchewan's premier says he hopes to see progress on advancing market access for canola and other Canadian products.
We're working very hard, basically around the clock, to negotiate with the Chinese government. We'll continue to do that as we move forward.
But there's concern within the auto industry that to get a deal on canola, Canada could lower tariffs on Chinese EVs, resulting in more competition for automakers here, already dealing with the U.S. trade war.
The Chinese have successfully put Western jobs against Central Canadian jobs. And the Prime Minister of Canada has an unenviable job of having to strike that balance.
The Prime Minister's goals for this trip include resetting Canada's relationship with China and boosting trade and investment. The stakes are high, and so are the expectations. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
Statistics Canada's latest report on the economy is showing a mixed bag. It says more than 8,000 jobs were added to the Canadian economy in December, making it the fourth straight month of surprising job gains. At the same time, unemployment rose to 6.8%. Economists say that increase came from more job seekers entering the labor market towards the end of the year. That comes after a challenging start to 2025, a result of U.S. tariffs and threats. 16 veterans from the team that dominated their way to gold in Beijing will now lead the Canadian women's hockey team into next month's Olympics in Italy. It includes 2 Manitobans, all under the lead of the nation's highest golden Olympic goal-scoring hockey player ever. The CBC's Jamie Strachan has that story.
The 23-woman roster will be very familiar to Canadians. 16 of these players have represented Canada at the Olympics before. 7 new players on the roster. Going into these Olympics, Team Canada will be in a very unfamiliar role, the role of underdog. Many people looking at the American team as the gold medal favorite heading into Italy. Members of Team Canada say, bring it on.
I personally love being an underdog. I love having to fight and having to battle and compete as an underdog, but I think a lot of people thought about us losing at the most recent World Championship, and they saw the results of those 4 rivalry series games, and they completely forgot about everything that's happened since we won gold in Beijing.
Much of the narrative around Team Canada being the underdog in these Olympics go back to the rivalry series that Team USA and Team Canada played at the end of last year. Team Canada was thoroughly outplayed in that series, being outscored 24-7 over the course of 4 games, and the American team just simply looked faster to the puck in almost every different situation. The general manager of Team Canada, former national team player Gina Kingsbury, says, listen, can we adjust that overnight? No, but we'll be ready for the Americans nonetheless.
I think it's the way we play and how we deployed our athletes. Those are all factors that we consider. I think we've got a realistic approach going into these games. I don't think we're blinded by maybe some of our gaps, but we're going to focus on our strengths and how we ensure that that doesn't affect the results in the end. But I think you can look at it on all different sides. I think we've got things that the Americans don't have, and we'll make sure they use that to the best of our ability.
Team Canada will get an early look at the Americans in Italy. Both teams in the same pool, so they'll play each other in the preliminary rounds. But looking at history, the 2 teams will most likely meet in the finals. Every Olympics since women's hockey became a medal sport, it's been Team USA and Team Canada competing for the gold medal, expected to be no different in Italy this winter. Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
For the first time ever, a Canadian will blast off for the moon. CBC's Ian Hannamansing got a chance to speak with astronaut Jeremy Hansen about his upcoming trip on NASA's Artemis II mission.
When it was announced that I would fly on Artemis II, we did start some of the more, I guess, almost textbook training, sitting down with the systems experts and starting to learn the systems just a little bit. Our simulators were not ready yet. This is a development program. It's the first time we put humans on that vehicle and fly them to space. So on Artemis 1, it was mission control sending the cues to the vehicle. Okay, now we want you to do this, and it'll go through its automation cycle. But when there's crew on there, the crew has to be able to sort of manage that automation, sort of like managing an autopilot on an airliner. But then you're also not quite satisfied with that when you're out 400,000 kilometers from Earth, that if something fails and you're not able to get the automation to do what you want, that you're just going to give up and die. And so you want some manual capability to try and save your lives.
I was wondering how I would broach the topic of danger and risk in this interview, and I didn't want to, bring up something that you don't want to talk about. But you mentioned the word die, like you actually just almost casually said it in there. Let's talk a little bit about the risks involved here. How do you manage that?
There are very real risks, for sure, but they're well managed. And like we work so hard to try to characterize the risks and then come up with plans to mitigate them. What would likely get us, more likely than not, is something we failed to imagine. And that's possible. And obviously I've had that conversation with my wife and my children. Still a little bit more work to do there. What I want most is for them to know when I launch, because that will be a very acute, stressful moment, that they're going to be okay. If we have a loss of crew on the mission, that, it'll be tough. And they'll go through a process and mourning, but we're going to set it up so that they're going to be okay.
NASA has not yet released an official launch date, but as of its most recent post, the launch window starts February 5th for the nearly 10-day mission. You can see Ian's full interview with Jeremy Hansen this Sunday on The National. You can also stream it everywhere you get CBC News. A push to spur winter tourism. Why one group thinks this snow and ice sculpture is just the way to do it. More on that straight ahead. Many Manitobans are compelled to hibernate during our long, cold winters. But there's a push to draw people out into the elements in Riding Mountain National Park. A group there has built an outdoor pavilion entirely out of snow and ice. They hope to keep tourism there growing year-round. CBC's Chelsea Kemp takes us there.
Putting the finishing touches on a giant snow pavilion, carvers are ramping up to celebrate winter in Wasagamie. The giant snow fort is built from ice blocks harvested from Clear Lake in Riding Mountain National Park. But it's about more than just fun. Clear Lake Country Destination Enrichment Organization Chair Carly McRae says the pavilion is meant to draw visitors during the winter.
We've had this dream in our mind for a few years of creating this hub, this winter hub for activity. So we wanted to create a space built from snow and ice that you could host events in.
The $30,000 Clark Snow Pavilion is designed to spark imagination and turn winter into time for fun rather than a downtime. Its title sponsor is the spa at the nearby Elkhorn Resort. Project manager Parker Buckley says the project reflects a broader community push to make Clear Lake a winter tourist destination.
We've all come together to try and really center our efforts on making Clear Lake a winter destination, and this is representative of that as we try and bring in winter visitors from afar.
Friends of Riding Mountain National Park CEO George Hartland says the pavilion adds excitement to winter activities and encourages year-round visits.
They've realized that Riding Mountain National Park is not just a July-August experience, but something that they can do 12 months of the year.
McRae says building winter tourism has been a goal for more than a decade. It's hoped that the pavilion will get more skates, skis, and snowshoes on the ground.
And so we really want to keep building and leaning into winter and being creative with all of the cool things that we can do with snow and ice.
The Clark Snow Pavilion is expected to open for the public this weekend. It'll be a feature for the Frost and Fire Festival in March. Chelsea Kemp, CBC News, Wasagamie.
I love all the details that he's carving into there as well. And I mean, any reason to get outside, bundle up, enjoy the winter, I'll take it.
Winters are great in Manitoba if you dress for it.
Right? There's no bad weather, just bad clothing.
Not at all. Yeah, we are looking at a bit of an up and down weekend weather-wise, Brittany. I mean, slightly cooler as we get through the day Saturday than we saw perhaps earlier in the week, but things do rebound a bit on Sunday with some precipitation in there as well. All right, I know because of the holidays, we missed a couple of Feline Fridays, so let's do a double dose of the Feline Friday for you this Friday night here. First one is of Callie. Thank you, Edna, for sending this picture. And Callie looks like she really enjoys sunbathing in the sunshine there. And we also have Bean. Thank you, Chris, for sending this picture. And keep your pictures coming, as always, to talkback@cbc.ca. So through the day tomorrow, temperatures really don't go all that far, around -10 through the afternoon. But you will notice that northwesterly wind, 30 gusting to 50 as we head through the daytime tomorrow. And that will really blow around any of that fresh snow that we do see. Even if it's not that much, doesn't take a lot to reduce visibility, particularly on some of the more open highways or some of the more open roadways, even within the city of Winnipeg. Temperatures today hanging around -10 for the most part, -11s through Dauphin and Roblin, Swan River -9. I was forecasting a -8 in Winnipeg. Didn't quite get there through the day today. -14 in Thompson, Churchill at -18 through the afternoon hours today. Through the overnight hours, like I said, temperatures really don't go anywhere. We're under some of this cloud cover. This does act as a bit of a blanket. So temperatures staying fairly steady through the night tonight through the Interlake into northwestern Ontario. Back into the west where skies will clear through the night tonight, though we are looking at temperatures dipping closer to -20 through Brandon, Verdun, -24 in Roblin, -23 in Swan River overnight, and could even get into some -30 territory into parts of northern Manitoba through the night tonight. Again, looking at the potential for frostbite through Tuduli Lake into Churchill at temperatures close to -30 like that. It does not take a lot of wind to bring that frostbite risk on exposed skin. So take that into consideration as we head into the weekend. Through northern Manitoba, mix of sun and clouds as we head through the day Saturday. Temperatures around -15 or so. There's that wave of snow coming as we get later Saturday into the day on Sunday and into southern Manitoba. We start with some clearing in the west, still mostly cloudy skies through the Interlake into the Red River Valley and into northwestern Ontario. and then we'll look at the potential for seeing some of that precipitation, maybe some freezing rain as we get through the day on Sunday with some flurries or some rain showers in there. So a bit of a messy mix at this point looks like will impact parts of the South Brittany as we get through the day on Sunday.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Is it real or is it AI? It's a question you've probably asked yourself when scrolling through social media. A lot of the images can look so realistic, it can be hard to know if it's fake. David Gerhardt is a professor of computer science. He spoke with Marcy Marcusa and says it's getting harder and harder to tell.
Yeah, the way we often say this is when you're looking at artificially intelligently generated content, what you're seeing today is the worst it'll ever be. It's always getting better. All of these little tells and tricks and things that that seem to indicate that an image or a piece of text is AI generated. The companies building these tools are actively trying to fix these problems because they want the content to be as good as possible. So last year, maybe it was like people had 5 or 6 fingers. Well, people have the regular number of fingers now, and it's not a tell anymore. So these tells that we sort of try to learn and build into our structures, they will go away over time.
So having said that, even, let's talk about some of the things that might still be out there that could help people. So number of digits on someone's finger. What about blurry outlines, or what other things might people still look for just in case?
Yeah, this is one of the important tells, is looking in the background of the image. Often the main subject of the image is very good and very polished, but the edges of that main subject might be a little bit fuzzy. There might be some unusual things happening in the background. You know, the horizon line might not line up properly, but this isn't always a tell, because if you think the Mona Lisa, for example, the horizon line in that image isn't lining up properly. And so many of these tells also apply to real world images, and so it does become more and more difficult to tell. And so as one of the previous people on the street mentioned, sometimes the sort of meta information, the information around the post is more reliable as a tell, right? How often this person posts, or how contextually relevant this image or this text is related to what you're talking about.
If you do want to source an image, tell us, like literally walk us through what you're clicking on, or what other sites you might go to try to verify something.
Yeah, so one thing to do is to do a reverse image lookup, right? The Google or other search engines will allow you to put an image in and find other places online where that image is used. Any image that is sort of relevant to a news organization or something is often posted many times, but an AI-generated image will have never been seen before, and so there will be no result in an image lookup. But again, if I take a picture with my camera and post it online, it's never been online before either, so that's not 100% reliable tell. But combining these with other features is important. If you sort of do a right click on the image and look for image information of the image, right? Like whether there's a metadata tagging the date and time that the image was created or made. And then the other thing that's happening is some of these AI generation companies are starting to require tagging on the images. Like Sora videos, for example, are very, very difficult to tell from reality, but they often have a little Sora word floating around that says, yes, we know this is generated by AI, because the AI company is putting that stamp on the image to tell us that.
Are social media platforms, in your view, being transparent enough about the use of AI in their content?
Well, I don't think they're hiding it. I think that there are some of these companies that see this as a valuable thing, right? People seem to be watching this stuff. People seem to be clicking on it and looking at it, and engagement is their metric. So if I'm looking at it, that must mean it's valuable. So it's not like they're hiding it, telling you that they're not doing it. But I don't think we see this sort of plastered across the masthead saying we are now showing generated content. But if you look at the shareholder meetings, if you look at the conversations with some of the top management, putting AI generated content on their platforms is a thing that they're not shy about doing.
What's the legislation around AI content like right now? Like, we have a new federal minister in charge of AI and such, but what's the actual legislation look like?
Well, there isn't really much, and this is part of the frustration, is that the legislative picture is fragmenting around the world. A couple of years ago, in the States, there were big pushes for legislation. The AI generation companies were saying, please legislate us. But since then, of course, there's almost no legislation in the United States at all. And here in Canada, the AI minister last year said that he thought that we were sort of over-indexing on regulation, and he'd prefer to see more supports to encourage companies and industries to adopt these new models, to adopt these tools. And so looking at, trying to use more AI in companies and business ventures is great, but if there isn't regulation in terms of how that content is displayed to people and how that content is indicated or labeled, that maybe is a problem.
what's the worst? Like, what's at stake here?
I mean, to me, the biggest problem is the other side of the column, where we over-index on lack of trust, right? Like if we look at a piece of media and say, I don't believe this is true, then almost any media can be not true. And so the kind of the evidence of our eyes no longer applies, right? I can look at an image and say, I don't believe that's happening because it's probably AI generated. And so not only do we not trust the stuff that's fake, we also start to not trust the stuff that's real.
Still ahead, how long would you wait for a Baconator? Another new restaurant brings more long lines to Newfoundland and Labrador. Stay with us. All right, well, colder temperatures are surely to hit this winter. One man is helping Manitobans brave the cold, all in the name of fun and a frosty face. It's what prompted him to start Frosty Face Manitoba. Now, you might recognize the Instagram page. It's full of pictures of icy beards and lashes and, of course, what he calls snotsicles. He says it's all about promoting making the most of our winters.
One of my Absolute favorite things to do is build in winter. Winter is the best time to build. So build a Quincy or build these structures. I love snowshoeing, and so I'll go down the river. And winter is also an amazing time to go see the stars. And we've had some really beautiful northern lights this year.
Just get outside. And while he's originally from Alberta, he says he just wants to share his love of Manitoba winters with the world.
So I don't have any cold temperatures in the 7-day forecast, but there is a bit of precipitation on the way. You're looking at some of that on radar as we head into the evening here. As expected through the Interlake and into parts of eastern Manitoba, looking at the potential for 2 to 4 centimeters likely on the high end. In Winnipeg and the Red River Valley, this is most likely just some flurries as we get through the night tonight. Maybe a couple of stray snowflakes first thing in the morning, looking at temperatures closer to seasonal, around -10 as we head through the day tomorrow. There's the risk that we could see some freezing rain as we head into Sunday. Temperature at -1 by the time we get to the afternoon, at freezing into Monday, a mix of sun and clouds. Looking at our next chance for some precipitation coming Tuesday, but a more substantial chance of seeing some snow as we head into Thursday and Friday of next week, and temperatures remaining above seasonal for this time of the year. Well, Newfoundland's first Taco Bell restaurant brought long lines and even travel advisories when it opened late last year.
All right, well, now there's another restaurant that's also causing long lines and the need for traffic control. Here's your Daily Lift. It has prompted the city to issue a traffic advisory advising drivers to take a different route to avoid any traffic jams as people line up down the road for those burgers and fries.
As it turns out, concerns about long traffic jams were mostly unfounded. Yes, there were some long lines, but not a lot of people getting stuck in traffic, with drivers in most cases waiting in line for around 10 minutes. So it looks like it moved pretty quickly.
Hey, we've definitely seen it here. There was those lines around Krispy Kreme and
yeah.
Arby's. Winnipeggers love something new to try.
The Jollibee
Exactly.
from years ago.
Exactly. Well, maybe you'll find something new to try this weekend.
Exactly. Great weekend for it.
Have a great night.
See ya.